Welcome everyone to the Civitai.com stream. I'm your host, Ali, Civitai's Community Engagement Manager, and we're about to do office hours for the week. Hello. Hello. Thanks, guys. Nice to see you all here. This is your chance to bring me your questions and your concerns about Civitai.com, and I'll give you some updates on what we've been up to behind the scenes. Let's just wait a minute or two until everyone trickles in. It looks like we're live on Twitch. That's working. If you have audio issues, please let me know. We should be good. Fingers crossed. While we're waiting, if you don't know what Civitai is, we are a platform for the creation and the sharing of AI-generated art and tools to make that art. So we're swiftly becoming the Times Square of generative AI as creators come to Civitai to share their generative AI artworks. We've got a big community in the multiple millions, 90,000 strong Discord community, discord.gg/Civitai, which is full of great content. So if you're watching on Twitch or any of the other socials, I would encourage you to head over to Discord and check us out. And conversely, if you're watching via the stream on the homepage of Civitai, please come to Twitch. When do we stream? If you're watching on Twitch, you can check out the schedule down below. You can catch me every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and my colleague Tyler has special guest interviews and AI video tutorial content on his slots every Thursday and Friday afternoons. You may have noticed that there's no Monday office hours now. That's a bit of a change. With the recent reshuffle in responsibilities, it's become too difficult for me to fit a Monday stream in, so we are changing to a single midweek office hours update. Hey, Tyler is on. All right, guys, let's get started. So let's get into it. Yes, a lot's been happening. Firstly, you may not have heard the news, might be out of the loop a little bit, but we lost our co-founder and chief operating officer, Max Field, a few weeks ago. He resigned from Civitai, and we wish him all the best at his new job at Stability AI. Very exciting. What does this mean for the company and the community? Well, we're going to miss him, of course, no doubt, but it is business as usual for the most part. Of course, we're now down a key player in what was already a small team. So a couple of us have had to take on more responsibilities. And as I mentioned, it has led to the reduction in office hour streams and a bit of a reshuffle. But we're coping. We're coping. Okay, first item on the agenda this week is site stability. Not Stability AI, site stability. Last week I mentioned how we were battling with Redis, our in-memory database that keeps information handy for quick access. Because it operates in memory, that also causes problems. Recently, it's been filling all the available RAM that we have, and when that happens, it falls over, and it's a critical part of the site infrastructure, so when it gets into difficulties, the whole site suffers. And to make things more complex, we have a bunch of Redis instances. The DevOps guys have been working with the site developers to optimize what we actually store in Redis, put in better memory management, more efficient queries, and all sorts of super technical big brain stuff, and things have been more stable. Yeah, I'm not sure if you've noticed recently, of course, we've had issues with the generator, we've had issues with other site services, but the core site itself, this last couple of days, 3 or 4 days, has been more stable. It was particularly bad last week when I did office hours. I think that day we'd been into maintenance mode 5 or 6 times. To my knowledge, we haven't had to go into maintenance mode since then. Oh, and, just typical. Johnny is saying that he's getting the whoops, something went wrong, error on the events page. I'm not sure if I want to click on the events page. Will we try it? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to ping the developers. Anyone else in the chat confirm this? If you go to the events page, the whoops, something went wrong error. So that is actually a change. We used to display an application error. It was be a black screen with white text, not very meaningful. Now you get something that says, "Whoops, something went wrong." Mhm. Well, shall I? I'm going to be brave. Nobody else is getting it. Here we go. Hey. Okay. So that's strange. Okay. Well, seems to be working for most people. Um, in that case, Johnny, could you please create a ticket? Could you go to the bottom left hand, no, bottom right hand corner of the page? There's a little support button down here. If you click that, there is a link to the ticket portal. Submit a ticket for us with as much information about your browser and whatnot as possible. That would be really useful. uBlock Origin is the problem. Fixed it. Good to know. Yes, we have had a bunch of issues with uBlock. Glad that you could fix that. Awesome. All right, moving on. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, site stability. Yes, so problems a little bit better than it has been for sure. Now, a few weeks ago, I told you that we onboarded 80 new 4090 GPUs. Well, we just procured and installed another few hundred, and we still have more coming. Mid-February, I believe. We're already seeing phenomenal improvements. They're a lot faster and they're a lot more reliable than our cloud GPUs, our Salad workers, and we're now doing the work of 70% of the Salad-based generation with a quarter of the number of GPUs, our own in-house GPUs. And furthermore, our orchestrator guy has implemented new workers or controllers, which are about 25% faster than the old workers. So we're doing more with the hardware that we have, and we're bringing in new hardware as well. So the big benefit there is speed improvements. You get your images back much quicker. We've actually cut the backlog of images waiting in half. We're down below 1,000 images waiting in the image queue for the first time ever. I think it's sitting around about 300 right now, which is just phenomenal. The actual image interval, the time between us generating images, is now about 50 milliseconds, down from about 120 or even 150 milliseconds last week. So huge improvement there. And this will eventually give us the ability to open up more checkpoints in the generator, which does lead me to checkpoints in the generator. No change yet to the total number of checkpoints available. So last update I gave, I think we were exploring options with some of our providers, like Cloudflare, for example, to support all checkpoints, and we just do not have the kind of financial resources that these guys were asking for to support all the models on their hardware. So that's a bit disappointing. It would have been huge, but it is what it is, and we're not disheartened because we're still moving towards that goal, but on our own hardware. And like I said, we've been able to procure more cards than in the last couple of months than the whole of last year. So that's great news. Not as a consequence of the 5090s coming out. That would be nice if 4090s were cheaper, but that rollout doesn't seem to have affected prices at all because nobody can buy them. Has anyone tried to get their hands on a 5090? It's absolutely impossible. And of course, we're talking about commercial cards as well, which yeah, doesn't help. And actually, that's one important consequence of this change. The new cards in the data center is that we are now generating on significantly different hardware. Until this time, most images have been generated on consumer 3080s from Salad, but now they're being generated on commercial 4090s. Now, images that you remix now will not be the same, even for the same prompt and seed and settings, due to the different GPU, the architecture, the drivers, the controller behind the scenes. They will not be different. Sorry, they will not be the same. They will be different. There should not be any drop in quality on this new architecture. If you do see that, please let us know. But there undeniably will be a change in the images that are produced for the same seeds. We have verified that. This is funny. That's really funny. I saw one story about a guy who he had 2K? What? On German eBay? Oh, the images of 5090s are only 2,000. Okay. I saw this one story about a guy who He bought one, or he bought a car that he thought was amazing, and he shipped it in to like a repair shop for service because it wasn't working, it wasn't showing up, and it didn't have any VRAM on it. It had all been stripped off. So yeah, don't buy your 5090s from eBay. Terrible. Okay, let's see what's next. Let's start with the site developments we pushed over the past couple of weeks and some news. I think the probably the biggest news of the last week is the evolution of the creator program. There's an article linked at the top of the website. This one here, evolving our creators program. The link is put it in the chat here. Okay, so the TLDR is that we have had a beta creator program running for the past 6 months or so with about 50 creators in there. It was very straightforward. We built a payout system in conjunction with a third-party payout provider, and we were offering buzz withdrawals at a flat dollar exchange rate. Our hope was that as the platform grew, we'd slowly be able to expand the number of people that we could support in the creator program. However, as you've all seen from our transparency report, if you haven't seen the transparency report, down at the bottom of the site, there is a link to the newsroom. You pop that open, it is the first link here. You can just put that in the chat as well. Our transparency report is here, covering 2024. Let's see. So yes, as you've seen from this, we continue to operate at a loss each month, and expanding the current program, the current creator program, just is not viable. We simply don't have the means to fully open the program in its current form without compromising, Civitai's sustainability. A conclusion that we did reach after, a few months of careful analysis, looking at the bank account and biting our nails. However, we are not giving up there. Let's see, where were we? We're not giving up. We're introducing the concept of a monthly creator compensation pool. So it will be allocated as a portion of the previous month's revenue. So this approach ties creator earnings to platform growth. When we grow, the total amount of the creator compensation pool will grow with us. So the basics of how this is proposed to work, nothing is quite set in stone just yet, but that qualified creators with a Civitai subscription can bank their yellow buzz and claim their share of this compensation pool. The monthly pool distribution is proportional to each user's banked buzz. So if the pool, say, our revenue one month was $350,000 and our pool was, $35,000, and your banked buzz represented 2% of the total, then you would get about $700 out. No cap. You can bank as much buzz as you want. No platform fee to withdraw. Earnings will be available through the creator payout partner that we're currently using. There's a range of options there. There's PayPal, there's eCheck, there's ACH, and that's working pretty well. So this is not the program that Justin envisioned originally and talked about in some of our prior updates. And that idea isn't dead, but this is the only way that we can make this work and give everyone a kind of fair shake at earning, compensation for their work on Civitai. Now, additionally, for those of you who don't make LoRa's or checkpoints, you might not be, earning creator compensation the same way as those people do. We are exploring new ways for content creators. That's what we call people who, exclusively make images. We're exploring new ways for these guys to earn. And one of them in particular is super cool. I can't really go into the details right now, but it would open up a whole new avenue of business for Civitai and a whole new earning stream for those of you who just make images. So that's super exciting. No, green buzz. No, I'm sorry. We're not opening up any. That has been proposed. People have been proposing to us. You need gold buzz. You need green buzz. What about red buzz? It's just not going to be a thing. Buzz is too complex as it is. the two-tier buzz system makes sense. I think, you've got one color of buzz which is for creation, and you've got one color of buzz which is backed, but with as a real money value behind it, driving it. So I think that makes sense. Um, yeah, red buzz for lead generation. Yeah, that's not the first time it's been proposed. Some hilarious proposals there. Okay. One last thing though, if you do read this article, the Evolving the Career Program article, the comments in this thing are wild. Now, you wouldn't think that us endeavoring to pay people for their contributions to the platform would be a controversial thing, but apparently it is, and apparently far more people have MBAs than I thought. Okay, let's move on. I've just been told that the generator is going down very briefly. Let's see. I'll be pinged when it's back up. There's an update going out to something that we pushed earlier on, and I've got on my list to talk about. But yeah, looks like a fix is being pushed out to the orchestrator. Again, if you had the bingo, if we were doing the Twitch bingo, somebody would have won with that, I'm sure. Okay, let's move on then. Illustrious, a popular model, and I can tell you that Onoma AI, the creators of the original Illustrious model, they will be dropping Illustrious XL, the latest, like the first release version of Illustrious, onto the site this week. We're hoping for Friday. Matty, actually, our partnership guy, actually has a meeting with them, and a face-to-face meeting with them today, and I've been told that we're aiming for Friday. It will be. Now, this is a caveat here. I'm really excited about Illustrious XL. I'm told that it is it's utterly amazing. It's leaps ahead of the 0.1, I think, that's currently on the website. Unfortunately, maybe not unfortunately. We'll see. It will not be available for download. The weights will not be available for download initially. They will be on-site generation only. And furthermore, there won't be any LoRa training at first. There are some discussions that we need to have with Onoma about the requirements, the stipulations that they have for LoRa training. But I'm told that the model is very good, so we'll see. But by their request, weights will not be available for download. This is going to be on-site only. All right. Okay, I'm told that the generation should be fixed without, and it didn't actually have to go offline. Awesome, good show. People mentioning in the chat that that's crazy. Yeah, this, I want to make that clear. Joey's right in the chat here. This is not our choice. Onoma Research, the owners of Illustrious, have told us that if we want to have it on site, it has to be generation only, and the weights cannot be downloaded. So we'd love to, make it available, and we will keep working with them and find out what the story is for the future. Cool. All right. Bring your own image. We talked about this last week. It's available for image to video right now. You can drop an image from any web page, including any image on Civitai, directly into the generator and use it as a starting point for video generation. This has been super popular, and I'm expecting it will continue to be as we drop in more video services. So we have Hunyuan coming. We're exploring Cog Video X. Many options. So some of them, like LTXV, we're going to be offering in-house, actually. We're just going to talk about that in a second, rather than with our API partners, because that will allow us to offer lower cost generations, which is exciting now. Let's see. LTXV generation is now live for subscribers. It was pushed out this afternoon. It's super low cost. It's actually really good. It's obviously not as good as Minimax or Kling, but it's priced to reflect that. It's cheap. It's 63 buzz, and it's fast. So do read the guide. I will paste in a link to the guide if I can find it. This one here. Okay, there is the guide. Do have a look at the guide because it has some uh, hmm, nuances, I suppose you could say. If you don't prompt it correctly, you'll get terrible outputs. Absolute nightmare fuel stuff. It is subs only right now because there are some limitations. We do need to test out how it performs on our own workers. So this is the first video service that's running on our own GPUs, not via a partner API service. And we need to see how that goes for a smaller set of users. So subs only right now. Only a couple of aspect ratios as well. We were finding that it didn't quite work in 916 portrait, but it does work in both 2.3 and 3.2, so we'll be adding those. Let me just pop the generator open real quick and we'll take a look. So Kling, Lightrix. Turn this off. Yeah, so right now we've only got 16.9 and we have 1.1. Let me shift this to picture-in-picture. That's better. Okay, in the future, we will be bringing 2.3 and 3.2 for portraits. Let's see. Let's check out some of the images or the videos that I made this morning. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes you do have to roll the dice a little to get something good. It does generate weird watermarks and logos on videos, which would otherwise be perfect, which is super annoying. But come on, this is less than 100 buzz. It's like 63 buzz here. And you're looking at a minimum like 600 for Kling, and even I think 200 for Hyper, which is So let's have a look at some of these. Yeah, working. Bit slow. My PC's ground to a halt. Actually, not bad. Acceptable outputs for the price, Of course, Granny. Yep, absolutely. These are actually 63 buzz. That is an image to video with no prompt at all. Which got a question here? Which version of Kling is Civitai running? It is the newest 1.6. Correct. Yes. But these were created with no prompt. The workflow that we're using behind the scenes does all that for you. Yeah, should you wish, you can put in a prompt if you want to, but you get a good amount of generation, a good amount of movement for 63 buzz. And I didn't have to roll the dice on these ones. These are not cherry picked. Now, the ones that are interesting are the text to video. So this one here, for example, not bad. Let's see another one. This one here. Actually acceptable outputs for 63 buzz. So pretty exciting. So if you're a sub, come and check that out. And I presume that this will be opened up further once we've done a bit of stress testing on it. That's the idea. I know. It's absolutely true. I just I've been having so much fun just going through all my images, just throwing them in here. It's great not having to supply a prompt. Really, really useful. Cool. Okay, let's move on. What have we got next? Yes, training. Okay, so Hunyuan and LTXV LoRa training on site is still coming. Some of the Hunyuan LoRas that we already have uploaded to the site are phenomenally good, and you'll soon be able to train them yourselves and use them in the video generator. So I really want to get that out so that you guys can tap into that. It's such good fun. If you've not seen the video LoRas for Hunyuan, they're phenomenally good. So some of the likeness LoRas, just fantastic. So coming very soon, we've got a guy, a dev, looking into that right now. We've got a question here, not the Ninja, bit late. After reading the new article on creator compensation, what's the criteria for being selected for the pool? Everyone is going to be able, as long as you are a Civitai subscriber, and there is going to be a requirement based on your Civitai social score, but it's going to be low. The requirement is just to weed out those bot accounts. So if you've done any sort of engagement with the site whatsoever, then you're probably going to be able to leverage this and to jump in. So obviously nothing's concrete yet. I don't have a specific score in mind, but that's how we're considering that this will work. So yeah, we'll have information on that as soon as possible. I know, site interact. Yeah, exactly. How would you know? I see. Yeah, we'll give you more information when we know. A lot of this is still up in the air. We're still tweaking. We're still deciding how this is going to work and how this is going to play out. Let me send a quick message here. Okay, I've just heard. We've jinxed it. We are going to have to turn off generation to fix the generator. We're only running at 50% capacity right now. It's not quite right, so it is going to be going off briefly. Sorry about that, guys. Well, at least I got to show you what we've made before it went off. Yeah, sorry about that. Absolutely jinxed it. Okay, so we talked about training LTXV. We talked about training Hunyuan. Next, we've got private generation. Okay, one of our devs is working on it this week. That's the ability to generate from models that are in your drafts that have not been published to the public side of the site. I've been designing it with our designer, last week. It's looking good. I can give you a few details on how it will work. So, firstly, subscriber only. It will require an active Civitai sub. It's coming in two forms. Firstly, after training Allura, let's just go and look at one, for example. Is it in our staging environment? I don't think so. We're just going to have to imagine. So we'll go to training. We'll go to one that I trained recently. Okay, from this screen, the epic display page where you see all your epics listed out, there will be a button at the top allowing you to test each epic by loading it into the generator. You then have two options. You can either publish an epic directly, which will make it public, just exactly the same workflow as we have right now, or you can save the epic. A model card will be created for it, just the same kind of flow as we currently have, a few less options. But the saved models will not be public. They will be pushed into a new tab here on your training page. So you will have published models, you'll have saved models, and you'll have, obviously drafts and training, which will just, give you the same as you normally see. So that is exciting. When it's in the training mode, when it's in the training tab, sorry, I should say when it's in the saved tab, so you've taken it out of your training, you've tested it, you've created some images with it, you've saved it so that it is saved on the website, but it's not public. It will be available for use to you for as long as you wish, as long as you maintain your subscription. You'll be able to use it in the generator privately. Now, of course, there are a bunch of moderation considerations, which we'll cover when this comes nearer to launch, but that is the gist of it. It's pretty exciting. Oh, you haven't answered the question. Okay, I didn't see the chat here, sorry. Can we do Booba with LTX? I don't know, to be honest. Isn't that terrible? I think we can. But it's not very good at it. So some of these video generation services are better than others at doing Booba, but yeah, they're not great. And I don't think LTX-V is one of the good ones. But it's not restricted though. In the, from a moderation standpoint, it's not. It doesn't have any, restrictions on it other than the safety systems that we currently have. The review systems that we currently have. But yeah, most of the models are censored. I know that if you try and pass particularly lewd um, prompts to any of our API services, you'll get an error back. They won't let you run them. Yes, absolutely. LTXV is the first video model that is local. It's generated on our local GPUs. It is not being sent to an API partner. And that's why it's, if you missed that part of the video, that is why it's currently subscriber only, because this is the first time that we've actually had to do video generation on our own hardware. And we want to see how it's going to work. We want to see how it's going to scale, what sort of times are going to be involved there. So we'll find out over the next couple of weeks and maybe open that up. We'll see. So we talked a little bit about private generation, which is absolutely going to be a thing, and I'm super excited for it. I don't have a time scale for that to drop, but it's quite a high priority. But of course, it does need a lot of testing. Okay, next, let's talk about additional resource charging. So we did release our transparency report at the end of December, and you've all seen that we're not winning. So additional resource charging is a necessary step. Let me actually pull this out of the articles here. This one here. I'll put it in the chat. All right, this is a necessary step for us to keep things going. If you go back to the start of the video where I talked about database issues, Redis causing us problems, infrastructure constraints, and we are constrained by money and resources, and changes like this one are directly related to that. We're not doing this just for the fun of it. This is directly related to that. So we've been trying to spend less in certain areas so that we can spend more on critical infrastructure. If we want any chance of keeping the site running into the future. So to recap on what this change is, we're placing a very small buzz surcharge on additional resource, on LoRa use within the generator on a per image basis, although that's going to change, I hear. Most of you, based on the analysis of how people are using the generator, most of you are going to see like a 1 to 3 buzz increase per image. And there are a number of exclusions as well, so models and files which just won't incur any additional cost. Reactions to this, obviously mixed, but if there were any other way to keep the site going, we would be generate more income than we would be doing it. Overall, I can say that the change has been positive. We are seeing the kind of metrics that we expected and wanted to see, so I do appreciate your understanding there. And that is an absolutely valid point there, that my buzz earnings have gone up slightly too as a result of generation being a bit more expensive. Yep, it all carries through. Question or a statement there. Subs, merch, and YouTube ad revenue help a lot. Merch does. Oh, I think about 3 people have bought our merch, and that includes me and Joey. Oh no, wait, I'm not meant to say that. The Civitai bikini is what keeps the site running. Shop.civitai.com. Yeah, the Civitai string bikini is our most popular product. I don't have the bikini overlay anymore. That sucks. You're still waiting on your bikini. Oh, you're not waiting on the bikini. You're waiting for me to put it on. Gotcha. I gotcha. Yep. Let's see. Would you consider releasing a graphic on the yellow buzz, blue buzz earnings and spending? A lot of conflicting rumors. Don't listen to the rumors. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I didn't really want to get too much into spend too much time on refuting. Um, but while we're on the topic, and since somebody's asked about it, one of the things that comes up in the comments all the time on this article and others, people that read the transparency report or any of our recent announcements and just infer so much, especially that we're all paying ourselves absolutely wild, outrageous wages. Now, that one is absolutely wrong. Um, the salary portion of the transparency report takes into account not just current employees of Civitai, but everyone that we employed over the past year, over 2024. And that includes 6 or 7 full-time positions which no longer exist. We did have a much larger team at one time, and that had to be trimmed down for cost savings. So that was just one thing that caught my eye. Um, but yes, I'm not going to spend too much time diving into, or any time at all, actually, diving into these comments because there are a lot of them. And like I said, many more people have MBAs than I thought. We're all idiots, apparently. Okay, generator should be back on. All right. So further to the additional resource pricing, now everyone generating is in the same image generation queue. We're planning next couple of weeks to add a kind of a boost option, allowing users to skip the line a little, completely optional. Much of the generation timing, obviously, we've talked about onboarding these new cards and how everything's got a lot faster, but there's still room for improvement because there is a queue, obviously. The queue usually sits round about 400, 500 images deep. We're planning to do a little experiment. We're rolling out priority pricing to Civitai subscribers, maybe this week, just to gather data. The way I understand it's going to work is that you'll see the count of the number of jobs waiting in a number of buckets or kind of priority levels, and you'll be able to use Buzz to push your request into a smaller pool. It's kind of like a queue skipper. Very much experimental, and the plan is to release this to subscribers. Remember that subscribers make up a tiny segment of the total number of users that are generating images, and we want to see if it impacts durations across the board. So that's the first step. Second step would be to roll this out in open beta, and for a period of time, we'll gather a wider range of metrics. And then we'll decide what the strategy is going to be, whether it's actually useful at all. Can you see who's ahead of you in the queue? And yeah, if you see someone you don't like, skip ahead of them, right? Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. But that's the intention of releasing it in a kind of a beta mode first, is to gather some data, see what it looks like. All right, other tentative explorations. Again, nothing concrete here, just some things that Justin has expressed interest in exploring. So the Vault, Civitai Vault. Right now, the Vault system is criminally underused. For those of you who have no clue what the Civitai Vault is, as part of a paid subscription, you receive a huge chunk of storage space to securely save checkpoints and LoRa's into, in case they're deleted from the system by the creator. You still have, say the creator decides to take their checkpoints elsewhere, you still have download access to it. You can access your vault from here, from the main menu, if you're a sub. It's just listed as My Vault. I'm not going to go into it because it's absolutely full of degenerate content from testing. From testing, right? So, oh dear, he beat me to it here. That's right. Is there any other reason for the Vault? Yeah, well, that's what we're trying to change. Vault is huge. Most people have a ton of storage, criminally underused, like I said. So potentially evolving this into private generation. How about being able to use your vaulted models to generate with when they're no longer available on the site? So they've been taken down by the creator. You've downloaded it to your vault, so you can still use it in the generator. So Vault is just an extension of local storage, pretty much. If a model is removed from the site, everyone who downloaded it can still use it locally. So those who vaulted it prior to removal should be able to do the same. It interfaces with Civitai Link. You can download and upload from your local via link to the vault. So that is exciting. I think that would be a pretty cool way to expand Vault's utility. We're also exploring the idea of using the Vault space to save your generator creations. So generator creations are usually only kept in the generator for 30 days. Also, training data sets, should you elect to keep them, they are now only retained for 30 days. So if you could push those up into your Vault, that would be, yeah, exactly, image storage. That would be a lot of cool options for you there. Can I use it for data hosting, or will I have bandwidth throttling? I mean, you're only going to be able to use it for storing models and whatnot. It has to have limitations. Depends on why it was removed, is a question. So, yes and no. Right now, the way the vault works is if you vault it when it's available to everyone, if a creator takes it down, you still have access to it. If the model is removed because of a terms of service violation by a moderator, then it disappears from your vault. But that's the only reason that it should disappear from your vault. That makes sense? Vault space millisecond response time. Vault space is the same. It's on the sitting on the same databases as all the rest of our stuff. There's not going to be any. It's not going to be any slower to download from, or faster than downloading anything else from the site. Yeah, exactly. Just yeah, that's it. Absolutely what we intended Vault to be used for. No, I think Vault. It's been Vault's been out for the longest time. It's been out. When did we first release Vault? Let's go and find out. Um, where can we find out? Education Hub, Vault. Ooh, it's been out a long time. April 2023 is the first time that we put up a guide for Vault. And this is what it looks like. Let me make this a bit bigger. Since I can't show you directly, this is what the Vault interface looks like. If you're a gold sub, I think you get 50 gigabytes of space. And like I said, Civitai Link interfaces with it to push content up and down to the Vault. You can also it's got a bunch of other uses as well. You can add notes to your LoRa's. You know, this LoRa is great for this. It's yeah, it's pretty good. I would encourage you to check out Vault if you haven't before. All right. Okay, let's talk about some of the issues that we had over the past week. If I had the ability to put the flames on, I would. Let's see. Age classifier, pain point there. So we have had a few issues with the age classifier for the LoRa trainer failing. And when it does, it fails safe, which means that all training data sets that are being passed through the age classifiers are sent for review. Seb and I have been reviewing those manually as soon as the failures happen, and it hasn't caused like a major training holdup yet. The training dev is looking into why this is happening. So if you're not aware, every dataset that gets uploaded for LoRa training is scanned for child content, and if it is detected, your dataset training or your training will be paused. It'll be put into a paused status. When our workers that run the scanning fail, they fail safe. So everything gets pushed into that review queue, and sometimes that results in a couple of hundred to be gone through manually. And you see some shit, I can tell you that. Some of you guys make interesting LoRa's that never make. Some of them you'll see later on, like you'll see them make it to the website, but others just get made and you'll never see them again. So, I mean, that's valid, but there's a lot of wild stuff. Wow. All right. Civitai Link. Speaking of Civitai Link, it stopped working for some people a couple of weeks ago. A new version was released today, a few hours ago, which we're hoping fixes the problem. I didn't have the problem with Civitai Link, so I'm not entirely sure if it's fixed. But I do know one thing. Unfortunately, the in-app updater doesn't work. You'll have to manually uninstall Link, and you'll have to install this new version that we released today. So inside Civitai Link, there's on the settings page, there is an icon that you can click to update it from within the app. Doesn't work. So just go add and remove programs, take out Link, and download the new one from the Civitai Link button at the top to the right of the create button, this one here. Once you've done that and you've got it all hooked up to the site again, please let me know if any of the issues that you were having previously are fixed, if any. I think the main one was people getting like could not get commands or not being able to download with it. I've tested it and I can download just fine, and I can link it up just fine. Okay. We have also fixed or had issues with and fixed some Buzz dashboard issues. I think one of the big ones was the 12-month chart is finally fixed. It does show, yeah, there we go. It does show 12 months rolling now. That was broken for a few weeks. So happy about that. What else has been broken recently? Let me have a think. Kling, the API. I did talk about this last week, but let's just go over it again real quick. We have been speaking to them, but as a result of them dropping their new 1.6 model, they have doubled their API pricing. The 1.6 model is good, but it's expensive. And obviously, as a result, we've had to increase our pricing. Yes, we have had to increase our pricing for Kling, so it's expensive now. But obviously, we've got Lightrix now. So video gen options that are super cheap, 63 Buzz for Lightrix. So there are alternatives. But I can confirm that we are still forging ahead on some of the advanced video gen features. So like motion controls for Kling Pro that they have on their 1.5 model, for example. That is still going to be a thing, so I'm told. Speaking of the daily challenges, have repeats been mentioned? No, I don't think I mentioned that, but I have brought it up in the stand-up this morning that daily challenges were on our second repeat of the week. Might be even on the third now, I'm not sure. We had the CD one, and we had the candy one twice. So yeah, we have acknowledged in previous office hours that daily challenges are not where we want them to be. They work for a first iteration, but it's not quite right. And Justin has committed dev time to building something that's a bit more fit for purpose. So yeah, please be patient with the daily challenge system. It'll get to something that people actually want to participate in. Yep. Okay, contests. Project Odyssey 2, still in full swing. If you weren't aware, it's the largest AI film making competition now in the world, with $70,000 in cash prizes, and the submission period is now closed. Judging is now underway. The winners are going to be announced on February 14th, and there will be an awards show, but I think it's not going to be in person this time. As far as I understand, it's going to be live streamed on Twitch, twitch.tv/Civitai. We've also got a Valentine's contest running now until February 14th. It is at the top of the page here. You'll see it. paste in the article to the chats. If I can. There we go. The rendered romance contest. We're accepting images and videos across 5 categories, and you do get an awesome participation badge, the Broken Heart participation badge, and of course, buzz to the winners. So that's exciting. All right, we're running short on time. Let me see if I can skip a bit. No, let's cover this one last time. So I did talk about this last week, and I won't bring it up again, but I would like to talk a little bit about the Real People policy because it's been in the news recently. Quite a popular TikToker made a video last week about her experience finding a Laura of her likeness on Civitai. She submitted a likeness claim, and we took the model down the same day. And I saw quite a few folk in the comments on the video that she made saying how creepy it is that this exists. Variations on how illegal it is, and so on. And I have a few thoughts about this. So, firstly, by allowing real people, we're just acknowledging reality here. AI likeness models, excuse me, they exist, whether platforms like ours allow them or not. And what we're doing by providing this, structured, this ethical framework for how we deal with them ensures that people have control over their likeness, while also supporting responsible AI development. When I say people have control, they absolutely do. We don't ask for DMCAs or letters from lawyers to get these taken down. All it takes is an email or a DM even. Now, we may ask for someone to send us a message from their official socials, but that's the extent of it. We do not make it difficult to claim and remove your likeness from Civitai. Unless you are Ronaldo Lover 69, who is still demanding that all models depicting him, Ronaldo, are removed from the site. And I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. Okay, so this is also about minimizing harm as well, not ignoring it. So simply banning real people models won't stop them from existing. It's just going to push them underground onto platforms with zero oversight or accountability. We're enforcing clear, enforceable policies, and Civitai has set precedents on how likeness models should be handled responsibly. We've always had really, really strong policies on people's likenesses. So we are trying to foster creative and ethical use of the content, and we're thinking ahead, trying to shape the conversation somewhat. So AI-generated likenesses are becoming a bigger issue in entertainment, in journalism, in personal privacy. And I'm sure you've all seen Joe Rogan trying to sell you something in a YouTube short, or a politician spouting some clever disinformation. So how we handle real people likenesses today will no doubt shape laws and policies in the future. And I feel that Civitai is kind of ahead of the curve in many ways by implementing this structure that respects both creators, you guys, and the individuals themselves. But to sum it up, if you find your likeness on Civitai and you would like it removed, do let me know. You can email me at digital-likeness@civitai.com, or even directly ali@civitai.com. There is also a form to do so from our safety center, which is linked right in the bottom of the site down here. The safety center, content policies. Down in here, there is, where is it? Somewhere in here. The full policy on real people, it's inside here. Here we go. And there's a bunch of frequently asked questions explaining pretty much what I just told you. Why it's possible to train likenesses on site. Okay, good show. Lastly, Education Hub. I mentioned it transitioned to a new server last week. A few broken links, still a few missing videos, nothing horrendous. But I did take the time to do some spring cleaning and update a bunch of the guides. If you haven't checked out the Education Hub, I would encourage you to do so. There's a lot of good Civitai and kind of general educational content on there, and it is updated frequently. There's a lot of potential with the Education Hub, which isn't being fully realized quite yet. Big plans for this for education in general in 2025. We had over 700,000 unique visitors to the Education Hub alone in 2024, and I'm hoping to grow that with your help, the community help. Article system that we have on site, a lot of value in there, but a lot of the value is hidden beneath less valuable articles. So we need some way of surfacing the good stuff. People have raised this quite often, but yes, we need some way of surfacing the good articles, and we'll work on that. So that's it from me for today, I think. I will see you again on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And in the meantime, if you do have questions or concerns, please reach out to me via, on-site DMs. You can find my profile. I am just the Ali. Send me an on-site DM or email me, ali@civitai.com. Or if you're having a site issue which you believe might impact more than just yourself, please create a ticket from the support button in the bottom right-hand side, the little brown support button down here. Or you can just email support@civitai.com. Okay. Show your vault. No. That is the quickest way to get fired. All right. Any questions? Let me just sit and have a look through the chat right now. Yeah, vault reveal. I'm going to have to go and do some tidying up if I'm going to reveal the vault. Is that the case? Tyler is telling me that Joe Rogan follows him on Instagram. Wow. Get him on. Or even better, get us on. Let's get Justin on Joe Rogan. All right. Good show. It has been a pleasure talking to you all. I will catch you all next time. And like I said, in the meantime, any issues, any concerns, reach out to me directly or the support. Cool. Thanks again, guys. It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye.